The muffler deleting axle back that we have here today will hands down be your most affordable way to really crank the volume in your 2011 through 14 GT or 11 to 12 GT 500 short of cutting your mufflers off. Now on top of that, this kit is going to pack 304 grade stainless steel throughout, along with your 4-inch slash cut tips, all for right around 200 bucks. Installation is going to be a bolt-on job, not requiring any cutting or modification, but since all of your work is done underneath the car, the site is automatically going to kick things up to a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, guys, and about an hour or 2 to complete from start to finish. But if you hang with me for a bit, we'll walk you through that job later in the video. Well, what do you say we start with the most important thing with any exhaust review, and that of course is sound. And to put it bluntly here, gang, the muffler deleting axle back is gonna sound very angry. Tons of volume, tons of pops and backfires off the revs, and just a gnarly sounding system for the price. And perhaps one of my favorite things about this system is the fact that it retains a nice deep thumping tone overall, no real rasp to speak of. So going to my patented Wake the Neighbor scale, I've got the muffler deleting axle back coming in hot at a solid 4 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Also keep in mind here, guys, this is still with the factory manifolds or headers in place, along with the factory mid-pipe in place. Ditch those paperweights in favor of some shiny new hardware, and I can guarantee you those levels will go up dramatically. Now I will say, guys, that we did pick up a little bit of interior drone between those typical 2,000 to 3,000 RPM ranges while cruising on the highway, but something tells me if you're buying or considering a system this loud, chances are you won't be terribly concerned with a little bit of interior noise, especially at this price point. Now speaking of that volume, how does this system get its super loud and super aggressive tone? Well, pretty obvious, right? You are deleting any kind of muffler off your car using a piece of straight pipe, which is going to give you that kind of rough around the edges sound with the volume and the pops and backfires that always seems to get the nod of approval from fellow Mustang owners out there. But maybe the most impressive thing about this very affordable system is the quality of craftsmanship and materials. We're talking 304 grade stainless steel throughout here, guys, including the 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing and the 4-inch slash cut tips double walled. Now that 304 grade stainless is a material typically reserved for higher end systems that are typically going to command a lot more money. Obviously that's not the case here, and I also will say some of the welds near the flange are also looking very, very nice given the price point. But at the end of the day, don't take my word for it, guys. Feel free to read up on the numerous 4- and 5-star reviews of this system that really go to the sound and also the quality and fitment given this very budget-friendly system. But now, speaking of fitment, we want to shift gears and talk a little bit more about that install as promised earlier. And again, 100% bolt-on job, guys. No need for any cutting or crazy modifications here. But to give you a better idea of how things will exactly go down, check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown right now.
The tools used for this install are an impact gun, a ratchet, a short extension, 16mm socket, 13mm socket, a muffler hanger tool, and a pry bar. For this install, we are going to have to pull the mufflers off of the vehicle. Luckily, the mufflers are modular to the rest of the exhaust system, so they just unbolt and unclamp, and you remove the hangers and pull the mufflers out of the car. So let's get started. Each muffler is secured to the vehicle with a clamp and 2 sets of hangers. The clamp is right here at the inlet of the muffler, and there's a hanger here at the front, another set of hangers in the back. I'm going to use my 13mm socket to loosen the clamp, and then I'm going to shift the muffler back towards the back of the vehicle so I can unbolt the front set of hangers and then push it forward again so I can get the back set of hangers. Now I'm going to take my pry bar and wedge it in between the front of the muffler and the hanger bracket. I'm going to push the muffler all the way towards the back of the vehicle. That's going to expose this hanger bolt right above the muffler that's very difficult to get to. And then I'll remove that hardware and move on to the back hanger. Once again, using a 13mm socket, I'm going to remove this bolt here on this part of the hanger as well as this one in the front. And then there's another one up above the muffler that I'll need to get to after this. This one's a little harder to see, but it's up above the muffler and it's tucked up a little bit right above the hanger. I'll use my 13mm socket and pull that bolt out. Now that I've got the front hanger unbolted, I have the muffler hanging down and I can pull the rear hanger out of the rubber isolator. Now you can repeat the same exact steps on the other muffler. So now that we have both of our mufflers removed from the vehicle, we can transfer over our exhaust hanger and our clamp to our new muffler deletes. So I'll slide these off. I'm going to use my muffler hanger tool to get this last one off here. Then I can slide them onto my new one. Now we're ready to install these onto the car. I'm going to start by hooking my rear hanger into the rear isolator. This is just going to hold the back end of it for me while I work on the front hanger bolts. Now that I've got the bolts started, I can tighten everything down with a 13mm socket. You might need a short extension just to get to the third bolt. Once you have your muffler delete in place, now you can set your clamp and make sure you're grabbing on both pieces of the pipe and snug that down with a 13mm socket. Now that I have my muffler delete pipe positioned the way I want it, I can slide my tip and my tip clamp onto the end of the pipe, and I'll tighten that down with a 16mm socket. And now you can repeat the same process for the other pipe. And that's going to wrap it up for this review and install for the Muffler Delete Axleback exhaust system with polished tips fitting your 2011 to 2014 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.